Good morning, guys. I know it's been a little while since I've done a garden tour. I figured I'd do one last one and show you what's happening this week and give you a little preview of the greenhouse. Alright, let's get into it. So we are expecting a frost this week. I'm a little surprised it actually didn't freeze last week. I have gone ahead and pulled all my tomatoes out except for the cherry tomatoes. There's still a fair few on the cherry tomatoes, and I'm just going to pull them off just before a frost and let them ripen inside. The flower corn's doing alright. Some of it is white. I think that's just an immaturity thing, because the more dried cobs, I can show you here, we didn't get great pollination on the edges here. That's pretty typical, but these cobs are turning nice and blue with time, and they can dry out completely. And I think at this stage, if they get a little bit of frost, they should be all right, because they're not really tender and really full of liquid. So you can see here, these are the ones we direct sowed, and these are the ones. These ones here are the ones we started inside and transplanted. Definitely made a difference. Sorry about the wind noise. If it gets really bad, I might just switch to an voiceover. And there's a little gourd looking pretty cute. I'll be harvesting peppers. I'm going to take in my potatoes this week. I need to do another picking of the green beans. The dry beans are actually looking really good. And they're nearly dried out. Let me just crack this open. Give you a peek. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, but so looking really nice. They still have a little bit more drying to do, but at this stage they'll be safe to collect. So, well, I might just leave them out just because I've got time. And I have seed peas as well to collect. You can see the seeds in there. It's fairly dry. So I'll be digging up my potatoes. They're definitely kind of done for anyway, and I don't want them to get too hard of a frost on the roots. Although a mild frost won't hurt your potatoes at all. I have harvested all the tomatoes already. Oh, hello birds. We have some song sparrows that come hang out in the garden every morning, and they seem rather surprised to find me here sometimes. What you doing in our garden? I'll also be harvesting the leeks. This one has bloomed, but I don't see seed. So that one I'm going to leave in the ground. The rest I'm going to harvest. I'm going to wait for a good frost before I harvest my carrots. And a slight frost won't hurt my beets or my turnips either. It's just fun watching the birds. I don't know if you can see them. They're just swooping all over the place. I think a combination of song sparrows and white-crowned sparrows. Been seeing them around a lot. Anyways, my turnips are pretty big. That's a monster, actually. I'm thinking it might be a little bit of a strong flavor, so I'm hoping the frost will just sweeten them up just a little bit. As long as it's a light frost, it shouldn't do any damage to them. I'll be picking all of my melons and peppers probably today. Temperature out here is too cool for them to do much out here anyway. And with the melons, if they're not quite ripe yet, I think I might just collect the melon with a little bit of vine attached. And hopefully that'll help them to ripen a little more naturally. I don't know if it'll make a difference, but it's worth a try. And I will be popping in short little videos of the harvesting of the various things. And this morning I definitely need to harvest some corn. Now some of the corn isn't ready. It didn't set super consistently this year, I think because the wind knocked it all over, so the roots were disturbed, and so they didn't all come out at the same time. So there's definitely some pollination issues, and you'll see that when I actually shuck them all, but it's time to start harvesting the ones that are really dry. So I usually look for a tassel that's quite dry, and this one still looks a little bit green to me. Okay, so you can see here, that's almost not pollinated at all until you get lower down. And those are pollinated, but they're not quite ready. So I'd expect a little bit more browning on the husks before they're fully ready. Like this one will be about right. I'm not seeing any. The whole tassel is very dry, so this one should be ready. Anyways, with the frost coming this year, I'm not going to be covering a whole lot because I think for the most part things have matured well. Oh, sorry, bird. Didn't mean to startle you. Song sparrows are really not very shy. I don't think I'll be covering the pumpkins. I'm just going to go ahead and take them all in. I could cover them, but with the temperatures we're getting during the day, we're not getting enough heat to really have them grow at this point. And they're maturing well. They're kind of finishing up. So I might cover one here, one or two here or there. But for the most part, we're going to go ahead and harvest, and I'll also post a video about that. That's what it's looking like. It's definitely looking a little crispy and yellow. That's both a lack of nutrients and a lack of sun. It's just a cool season up here already. You can see this painted mountain corn is beautiful. It's supposed to be multiple colors, but just ended up with the red on this cob. But you know what? It is gorgeous. There's definitely some seed there. Many of the cobs didn't pollinate well, and that's just because I didn't have enough of a stand here. So, yeah, next year we're going to have to plant a much larger patch because I'd love to have more of that pretty corn there. The artichokes have been budding, and I should probably harvest these before the frost as well. They look like they're just about ready. This one looks good. I actually harvested a couple already, as you can see on that one, and they were really tasty, really good. So my plan with these is to dig up the roots and keep them refrigerated for the winter, and then pull them out in the spring to replant. And theoretically that should work. We'll see what happens. And we'll give you one last view of the flowers, because in a week or two these are all going to be dead. The fall can be a really brief and really brutal time, although I do love it. There's something very peaceful about the end of things sometimes. I'll definitely be getting into canning and preserving and things, so if you want to see what I'm doing there, post down in the comments what you're most curious about, and I'll see what I can do to provide that for you. Alright guys, it's lovely to chat with you again. We'll see ya.